Hi everyone. Today we are in this particular series we are going to learn about the MLOps, the basic of machine learning operations. So by MLOps, I particularly mean the process of model building, monitoring, configurations, testing, packaging, deployment, and CI/CD pipelines. And as the first step of going through the MLOps basics, we will be doing the project setup. And in this particularly, mostly from my background, I am much more of a NLP engineer or ML in uh, mostly my work revolves around NLP, natural language processing. But these tools are mostly part of any machine learning pipeline, and that would help you through the process. So in this video, we are going to discuss we have certain outline how we are going to go through this video, and in this particularly first we'll be focusing on the data loaders, models, and the inference. So in this particular video I'll explain you how we will get the data process and how we will be defining the data loaders. And I assume since you are joining this ML ops training, so you might already be familiar with how basics of machine learning goes about. So in this particularly, when we will be building this thing, there are three libraries that we will be using mainly: TensorFlow, PyTorch, or PyTorch Lightning. PyTorch Lightning is kind of a wrapper around PyTorch, which makes our work very easy, and it's a lightweight library. And in this particular tutorial, we'll be using the PyTorch Lightning since it automates a lot of engineering code and comes with many cool features that we will explore and you'll get to know about in the coming times. So starting off with, for the dataset, I'll be using the Cola dataset, which is also known as corpus of linguistic acceptability dataset. Go you can just go and see what this particular dataset is about. But in brief, I'll tell it has in this particularly we have to give a sentence, and that will be classified into either of the two classes. Either it's a grammatically correct sentence or grammatically incorrect sentence. For the sentences that are grammatically correct, we will define them by the accepted class, and unacceptable in the other case. In this particularly, we will be using Hugging Face data sets to download and load the data. And Hugging Hugging Face dataset, it supports library of datasets and can also be used with the custom datasets. So in this particularly, if you see the Cola dataset equals to load dataset glue comma cola, in this particularly we are taking the glue and the Cola dataset and we are printing the Cola dataset. So when we print the Cola dataset, it will be seem like the dataset. It's divided into three parts. The first is the train set, validation set, and the testing set. In the train set, we are around 8,500 data points, in which the first column is sentence, label, and the index. Similarly, in the validation, the test set, and however, the validation test is around 1,000, and test set is also around 1,000. So, if you do up the math, it's around 80 to 83% in the training set, around 9 to 10% in the validation set, and similarly the same in the rest in the test set. So in this particular data set is in kind of dictionary. I think list dictionary of data sets. Okay, so we have said from this dataset dictionary, we will be taking the dataset of the train in train, and then if we print out this thing, it's like a dictionary which has three particular uh, key 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 value pairs: index, label, and sentence. I think label 1 is acceptable, label 0 is unacceptable. Now, secondly, uh, we are trying to create the data pipeline. Data pipeline is in the sense of from how we are extracting from the raw data to the final that we will be ingested in the module. And in this particularly in vanilla PyTorch, these things are called data loaders. However, in PyTorch Lightning, these things are called data modules. If you want to know more about these things, you can just I will provide links, and you can just go and search into the documentation. So basically, why we are using data modules or data loaders, these are structured definition which allows for optimization that you want to do for automated distribution of workload in CPUs and GPUs just from the data module. So method you can use, and wherever possible, it's a standard way to go. So you should be using this thing. And particularly is defined by the data module is defined in an inference by their certain parameters. First is like the prepare data, which is you have to call that particular thing only once. It's like for downloading the data for the first, then the setup, which is to define if we are at a fit or test stage, then train data loader, valid data loader, and test data loader to load each of the different data sets. And a data module encapsulates the whole 5 steps involves in data pre-processing. Processing in PyTorch first is like downloading, tokenizing, processing data, then cleaning and saving to disk. Load inside data set, apply transformers, and wrap inside the data loader. So that's it for today's video, or do we have time? So yeah, particularly I'll explain this data module, and then we'll be closing off today's video. So in this particularly data module, we are creating a class. We are seeing a class by the name of data module, which is taking input of Lightning data module, PyTorch Lightning data module. In the init constructor, we are defining the model name. The model that we are taking is BERT, Google's BERT uncased. And in this particularly, we are referring to batch size of 32. And then we are super initializing the constructor, and then we are seeing the batch size is 32, and tokenizer is the automatic default tokenizer that we are taking from the Google Bird. Then while it comes for preparing the dataset, we are saying we are taking the cola dataset. In this, we are loading the glue and cola, and in this, the train, we are separating out the train and the validation dataset. Then in the tokenization, we are just using the self dot tokenizer, in which the example of sentence is taken, truncation is true, padding we are doing the maximum length, and the maximum length we are defining equals to 256. And then later when we are setuping this thing, we are saying like if we are at the fit stage, or if we are not at any stage, then train data equals to data dot map, in which we tokenize and batch. And then we after that we do train data. The format of the train data is torch PyTorch type, in which columns are inputs, attention mask, and label. Similarly, we do the same for the validation data set. And then let's come on to the final thing, the data loader for train and validation. In this, we are using the data loader class, in which we are passing the train data, then we are passing the batch size, and then we are saying like, let's shuffle this thing. Shuffle is like for randomly choosing different places, so that it's much more randomized in less bias. Similarly, we did for the validation data loader. I hope you understand what we taught today, and let's connect back in the next video. Yeah.